They called him weak, too skinny, too shy. They said he'd never make it. But Carl Lewis proved the world wrong. This is not just a story of medals and speed. This is a journey of a boy who was bullied, broken, and still became royalty on the track. Born in Birmingham, Alabama, on July 1st, 1961. Carl Lewis didn't grow up in privilege. He was a quiet child, often hiding behind his own silence. At school, the other kids teased him. They said his legs were too skinny, his voice too soft. He wasn't the loudest. He wasn't the biggest. And he definitely wasn't the fastest, yet. But deep inside that quiet boy was a spark, a dream, a hunger to fly. His mother, Evelyn, believed in him when no one else did. She wasn't just his mom. She was his coach, his anchor, his light. She told him, "They may laugh now, but one day they'll cheer your name." Carl held on to those words like a lifeline. At 13, Carl started taking track and field seriously. But progress was slow. He lost more races than he won. He cried after defeats, questioned his worth, nearly gave up. But he kept going. Morning runs, evening jumps, pain, sweat, blisters. Every single day, he trained like a man chasing something no one else could see. At 18, Carl watched the 1976 Olympics. He saw greatness. He saw a black man, Edwin Moses, rise. That night, he whispered to himself, "One day, I'll be there. One day, I'll wear gold too." Carl got a shot at college, but he wasn't welcomed with open arms. He was fast, but not fast enough. He jumped, but not far enough. Still, he refused to give up. People laughed at his form. Critics said he'd never reach Olympic level. Even some coaches doubted his spirit. But Carl trained harder. He studied legends like Jesse Owens. He learned every move, every breath, every stride. In 1980, Carl qualified for the Olympics. But fate had other plans. The U.S. boycotted the Games. Carl stayed home. Dream crushed. He cried, screamed, almost quit for good. But then he remembered his mother's words. "One day, they'll cheer your name." So he kept running. Los Angeles, 1984. Carl Lewis stood on the track, eyes forward, heart pounding. He wasn't just running for gold. He was running for every moment he'd been told he wasn't enough. He didn't win just one gold. He won four: the 100M, the 200M, the long jump, and the 4x100-meter relay. He became the first man since Jesse Owens to do it. The stadium roared. The boy they once bullied was now a king. But even then, critics came. They said he was too confident, too polished, too perfect. Carl stayed quiet, let his feet do the talking. Seoul Olympics. The 100M showdown with Ben Johnson. Carl crossed second. But days later, the truth came out. Johnson tested positive for steroids. Carl was awarded gold. He didn't celebrate loudly. He just smiled, because he never needed shortcuts. He was built on sweat, pain, and pure talent. By the 1990s, people said he was too old, too slow, done. But Carl? He wasn't done. In the 1996 Atlanta Olympics, at 35 years old, Carl jumped and soared. He won his 9th Olympic gold. One last flight, one last roar, one final chapter. Carl Lewis didn't just break records. He broke stereotypes. He broke doubts. He shattered the voices that once told him, "You can't." He proved that champions aren't born. They're made in silence, in pain, in sweat, in doubt. So, if they tell you you're not good enough, if they laugh at your dream, if you've ever felt like the kid sitting alone, remember Carl Lewis, because the boy they bullied became the legend they'll never forget. Subscribe our channel for more updates. Thanks.